The characters in the following program are professional performers. Do not try these stunts at home. Due to the graphic nature of this program, viewer discretion is advised.
On this episode of the Jim Rose Twisted Tour, the circus passes through Jim's home state of Arizona, and Jim gets all mushy. So strap yourselves in. You are about to embark on the most outrageous and shocking thrill ride ever, the Jim Rose Twisted Tour. This is the Jim Rose Circus. Critics have called it a post-punk freak show, a must-see act, and the most disturbing show they've ever seen. It began in 1990 when Jim Rose gathered together a group of misguided misfits with the idea of creating a modern-day freak show that would shock the world. And shock they did. Taking audiences on a mind-bending thrill ride of some of the most outrageous performances on Earth. By putting new twists on old carnival acts and by creating brand new ones, Jim Rose single-handedly resurrected a dying art form, the traveling freak show. Jim Rose and his creative cast of characters have performed thousands of times for millions of adoring fans all over the world. This is the story of the Jim Rose Twisted Tour, a behind-the-scenes look at the inner workings of a modern-day traveling thrill show as it tours America.
I'm Jim Rose, and I'd like you to meet my circus family. Phoebe, the circus queen, Razor Sharp, she's also my wife. The amazing Mr. Lifto, a body modifier of the highest order. We've got Rubber Boy, he was not born like you or I. Cappy, the heavyweight yo-yo champion of the world. And Rupert, master illusionist and trickster. Come travel across America with the Jim Rose Twisted Tour. Woo!
Anything that I can do that doesn't put me out, that will make the guys happier with me, I don't mind doing.
The next morning, the Jim Rose Circus heads into Phoenix, Arizona, Jim's hometown.
That's my grade school. That's when I was a little guy. Okay, slow down, slow down. That was my house right there.
This one right here?
This one right here with the motor home.
Jim Rose was born on December 21st, 1956 in Burns, Oregon, the eldest of 4 children.
I was born premature and cross-eyed when my parents took me out of that incubator and brought me home. My first bed was a shoebox. I don't know how much I weighed, but my mom says I was a women's size 7.
Jim's family relocated to Phoenix, Arizona, where the man who would one day eat razor blades learned to shave with them.
Where's the tree house?
Well, we're gonna go find it. Pull over, Larry. As soon as school was out, I ran home as fast as I could and waited for my best friend, who was my dad. And he was an amateur magician, hypnotist, and maybe the best storyteller I've ever heard in my life. Oh, my tree house is gone.
Seen one house, you've seen them all. I mean, they're Jim's memories. Why do I want to see them or relive them?
It was in this tree right here. I had a big tree house.
But to Jim, this tree house was more than just a cool place to hang out after school.
Crossed eyes stick out like a sad thumb, and I was constantly teased and harassed. I was basically ostracized. So that tree house meant a lot to me because that's where I would go, little cross-eyed Jim, and try and figure out how to carve his way through life. And that tree house was there for 20 years, but I guess it hadn't been there for 30. When we sold it, maybe the first thing they did was rip that down. It's really sad that very special place no longer exists. But hey, you know, that's part of just moving on.
The next stop on Jim Rose's stroll down memory lane is Arcadia High School.
These are all classes. That's where I took business economics right there.
Boring.
Sure, it's a nostalgic day for Jim, but for the rest of the circus, well, it's not exactly as glorious as the Grand Canyon.
I used to do the daily bulletins in the morning, do comedy skits. The reason I wanted that job is because I'm a ham, and also it allowed me to get to classes late.
Okay.
Of course, I was a theater guy, so I wasn't hip. I wasn't a jock. I was, I guess, a nerd, you know?
If I went to high school, Jim, we would probably be mortal enemies. I just got, who's that lippy guy who thinks he's all that? I probably would have been the guy sticking his head in the toilet.
I haven't seen this place since 1975.
Most of my teachers have retired or died. Over here's the cafeteria when I was in student council. We got ping pong tables put in there.
Jim also wanted to put in a dartboard, but the school wasn't too keen on his version. Later, Jim meets some current Arcadia High School students, and he's quick to tell them about his most educational moment on campus.
You know, I lost my virginity in this parking lot right over there. 1971.
What was her name?
I'm not going to say her name. I don't talk out of school. Wow, it's great meeting you.
You too.
Alumni. Alumni. What's my name?
Jim Rose.
I can't hear you.
Jim Rose.
Oh, dude, you got ice cream on your shirt. Gotcha. I want to know, who the hell wrote Gullible on that tree? Who did that? Who wrote Gullible up there? Gotcha! Okay.
You smoked us.
So after Jim's nostalgia trip, the circus heads out of his hometown of Phoenix towards Mr. Lifto's home state of Texas, where it'll be Houston's turn to experience the trademark antics of the Jim Rose Circus.